Welcome, my fleshies, to the Boneyard Scribe. Ever felt a chill down your spine? Not from the air conditioning, but from a knock at the door? Tonight, we're serving up a tale that's sure to leave you with some unanswered questions about what goes bump in the night. Or rather, who knocks in the night. The Martinez family just moved into their new home, complete with gardens, a tortoise named Spud, and a forest preserve. Sounds perfect, right? Well, they soon discovered their new neighbor isn't exactly the kind you borrow a cup of tea from. In fact, this particular neighbor has a real knack for making previous homeowners flee. So grab your headphones, dim the lights, and prepare for a story that proves sometimes the scariest thing isn't a monster under your bed, but a voice at the door. You don't want to ghost on this one. And now, what do you want? The Martinez family has been in their new home for a few months now, and they love it. It has everything they need. There's a large kitchen, a full finished basement, and a family room. The family uses their family room more than the living room. The living room is used for when company comes knocking. The backyard gives Mrs. Martinez a place to have her herb garden and her food garden. Mr. Martinez has his wildflower garden. And Saul, their 15-year-old son, has his spineless prickly pear out there for Spud, his tortoise. The property also has a forest preserve in back of it. The closeness to nature is one of the things that attracted them to the house in the first place. Of course, one thing they didn't read about in anything the real estate agent gave them was their neighbor of sorts. It's something that may make itself known eventually. It made more than one homeowner flee the home. Who knows when the neighbor will make an appearance? It's not a matter of if it'll make an appearance, but it's a matter of when. Time will be the key. The fourth night of the fourth month brings the visitor to their door. He knocks at the door, but he has so much more planned than just an innocent knock. When Mrs. Martinez asks who is at the door, she gets a surprise. Mom, I went out for a bit with my friends and forgot my keys. Can you let me in? You might think that sounds normal for a kid. She went to open the door when she realized that Saul was still upstairs. Needless to say, she didn't open the door, but whoever was at the door didn't stop there. It somehow got into the backyard and knocked on the kitchen window and pleaded once more to be let into the house. This time she called the police. She thought someone was trying to break into the house. When the police arrived at the house, they searched the front yard and the backyard, and they made sure to check the shed and other hiding places, but no one was found. She is beside herself because she knows there was someone out there, but who? Maybe they moved on to another house, she thought. So she asked for extra patrols for the neighborhood. which they said they would do. They also told her to call them if there were any problems. Hoping the intruder had its fun and moved on, she decides to side with caution and agrees to call them. She also wonders if maybe her son had played a joke on her. Wanting to make sure everything is okay, she goes to Saul's room. Knocking on the door, she waits for him to respond before walking into the room. When she does go into the room, he's sitting at the computer, playing his zoo game. Saul, were you playing tricks on me a little bit ago? He is visibly confused. He has no idea what is going on with his mom. Mom, are you okay? He asks in his usual way. It's his way of asking, are you serious? His mom looks at him and frowns. So, you are not outside? Saul thinks his mom is going nuts. No, I've been right here building my new zoo for about 3.5 hours. What exactly is going on, Mom? She isn't sure that she wants to tell him. All it'll do is spook him. But he did ask. I was in the family room when I heard a knock at the door, and then I heard you tell me that you'd gotten out with your friends and forgot your keys. And you wanted me to open the door for you. I went to open the door when it hit me that you were in your room. When I didn't open the door, it moved to the kitchen window, and it knocked on it. And that is when I called the cops. Saul looks at his mom in disbelief and fright. I've heard about this before. It's some kind of spirit using my voice and knocking. If it happens again, don't open the door and we will be fine. Hearing what her son said makes her feel a little bit uneasy. A little later in the evening, Saul is sitting in the family room when the knocking happens again. Again his mom goes to the door. Who is it? The thing outside again chooses to use Saul's voice in order to gain access to the family home. Please, Mom, I'm hurt. It adds fake tears and puts on some emotion behind it. It knocks again, only louder this time. Saul is shaken, and his mom just wants it to go away. No one wants to open the door and allow whatever it is out there to gain entrance into the house. They do their best to ignore the phantom, who is doing its best to scare the family. It then moves to the patio door, where they can see his face and the outline of his body. His face is sort of square, and a faint scar is visible on his left cheek. He's tall, maybe 6 foot, but he's also lean. He is definitely a ghost. He's transparent, and maybe that makes him even more scary. The mom and son duo move to the family room and turn on the television to help drown out the noise. Still, in the back of their minds is the fact that a ghost is trying to lure them into opening their home to him. Around 11 p.m., when they decide enough is enough, they go to bed. The family goes to bed without any problems. In the morning, they retell the events from the night before, but it makes no sense until they are told a story by Mr. Martinez that someone in town had told him about the house. It seems that once a year, this haunting plays out because a killer had been killed trying to lure a child away from the house. But he was killed by police around 10:30 p.m. If no one opens the door while he is knocking, all is well. But he will always come back and attempt to persuade you into opening the door. But eventually, at 10:30, he'll vanish with the sound of a fire stick. Every year he appears, and every year there is a force that stops him from entering. Is it scarier knowing what the ghost was in life? Or is it scarier knowing that he'll be back next year to torment the family all over again? The end. Well, Fleshies, that wraps up our tale of the Martinez family and their uninvited guest. It seems their new home comes with a real spirited welcome. And who knew a simple knock could be so unnerving? Speaking of unnerving, you might be wondering why Nature Guy X46 isn't here to bid you farewell. Let's just say he heard a knock, knock, knock at his own door and decided it was a good night to ghost for a bit. He sends his apologies and says he's currently engaged in some very important phantom limb stretches. But seriously, a huge thank you to Nature Guy X46 for bringing us this bone-chilling narrative. It really nailed the suspense. As for you, Fleshies, if you hear a polite knock, and then a more persistent one, and then one from the backyard, maybe just turn off the lights and pretend you're not home. Until next time, my Fleshies, this is the Boneyard Scribe signing off. Pleasant nightmares, and don't open the door. Goodbye, Fleshies!